Hey guys, so imagine this. Imagine going to a fuel station, and once you get there, you're gonna see a bunch of electric vehicles charging in a fuel station. It may sound strange, but that is the vision of the government of Ghana. Within the next few years, they plan to transition a lot of the fuel stations into electric vehicle charging stations. And that kind of makes sense because Ghana has over 2,000 electric vehicles currently in this country. So some of them are hybrid, some of them are fully electric, some of them are motorbikes. But the fact is that all these vehicles need to be charged. Ghana basically wants to transition to electric vehicles to reduce the reliance on fossil fuels. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I keep saying that EVs are the future. So it's great that the government of Ghana is taking initiatives to prepare the country for the influx of EVs. I believe that in the next decade or two, EVs are going to be very commonplace in Ghana. And don't be surprised when you enter a Trosky and that Trosky is powered by an electric motor. I honestly can't wait for that because seriously, some of these Troskys or these public buses are just too old. Some of them are 40, 30 years old. I don't know how they manage to pass the DVLA exam every single year. Okay, to be honest, I do know why they keep passing, but I can't say that here. Let's move back to the topic. Well, do you think transforming fuel stations to electric charging stations is a good move? Well, it has its advantages and disadvantages. When you first hear something like this, you start thinking about how safe is this thing going to be? Because electricity and fuel, they are not a very good mixture. But the good thing is that electricity can be well controlled and contained. So I think that problem can be solved with if the right measures are put in place. The bigger issue I think is the Ghana power grid. Ghana already has power problems and which are related to debts and not being able to generate enough power. So adding more EVs to the system or to the grid will definitely put a toll on the grid. I think as Ghana is transforming these fuel stations to EVs, one of the things they need to focus on is also getting new sources of power to be able to fund this growth. And to be honest, transforming fuel stations into EV charging stations is not something new. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's easily doable. Even though the placement of power stations is very crucial for the adoption of EVs in Ghana, I think we have to also rethink about the whole EV stations. Because if we are equating it to fuel stations, EVs are not petrol cars. Petrol cars can be charged within minutes. You get to a petrol station and 2 minutes max, you're out of there, right? With EVs, the charging is going to be longer for the current EVs. I mean, BYD has come out with a 5 minute charge where you'll be able to charge a car within 5 minutes. That is a game breaker. And I think it's going to take a while before it even gets here into Africa. But currently, most EVs take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even an hour to get a very decent charge on their battery, which means they need to be stationary for a longer time and it's not just a stop and go kind of thing, right? So I think with that in mind, we should rethink how we actually or where we actually place these charging stations. I think that charging stations should be in places where people park their cars, right? It could be in office complex parking lots, it could be at malls, it could be at churches, restaurants, lecture halls, markets, gated communities, apartment complexes, football parks and stadia, and other places where a lot of people normally congregate and stay there for a long time. So imagine you go to church, maybe a 3 hour service in church, and you're able to get your EV charged right in church. It makes a whole lot of sense and it doesn't really change your flow. You don't have to change your whole itinerary just to make sure that your car is charged because the charging stations have been well planned and situated in places where people normally spend a lot of time. I think these locations make total sense, and I'm sure within the near future we're going to see more and more of these. The fact is that most EV owners actually like to charge their cars at home. So eventually, I think majority of the charging is going to be at home. The fuel stations will be an added plus, especially for very fast charging. So what do you think of the government's initiative to adopt EVs in Ghana? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, if not subscribed, my name is Kekeli. I love to talk about EVs and tech. Make sure you subscribe for more. Leave a comment in the video. Let's get to know each other. And let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe.